Join me for a new episode every Friday where I'll give a short talk on a theme and explore a few interesting words and phrases for you. Recently, I had a really nice visit here in Japan. My mum and dad came over to spend a couple of weeks with me. One of the most difficult things about living abroad is not getting to see your family very often. So it was fantastic having them here for a while. During their stay, I booked a rental car and took them for a little road trip for a few days. We left Tokyo and drove up to the mountains of Gunma Prefecture for an overnight stay in the lovely hot spring village of Kusatsu. It's one of my favourite places, and while we were there I managed to get out on my road bike for a ride up the switchbacks of a mountain road that goes up near the summit of a live volcano called Kusatsu Shirane. The next morning I drove Mum and Dad up that same road as the autumn colours were so lovely, and we stopped for a moment at a monument marking the highest point on any of Japan's national roads. At 2,172 metres, the views are absolutely outstanding up there. While we admired the view, I couldn't help noticing how clean and pure the air was up there at altitude. Now, don't get me wrong, for a city of 30 million people, Tokyo has pretty decent air quality really, but not like in the mountains. Out there you can really feel the difference. And this got me thinking about man-made air pollution, particularly in the run-up to the COP29 climate change conference, which will be happening in Baku, Azerbaijan this November. There are lots of different types of air pollution, but one that I've heard a lot about in recent years is PM, short for particulate matter. PM is a type of air pollution made of tiny particles suspended in the air. It comes in all different sizes, but PM 2.5 is one of the worst. It's particularly harmful because of the small size of the particles, which allows it to penetrate deep into the lungs and even to enter the bloodstream. And that doesn't sound good at all, does it? According to the British government's FAQ website on PM 2.5, the 2.5 part means the particles in the air measure less than 2.5 micrometers, or 1/400th of a millimeter, in case that makes it easier to visualize. Now, I should say that PM 2.5 has both natural and man-made causes. It can be created by things like dust, ash, and even sea spray. But I'm more interested here in the man-made causes, as those are far more serious. They can be things like vehicle emissions, like car or lorry fumes, or smoke from industrial sources like factories and coal-based power plants. Dust from construction sites or even demolition sites can also contribute. Demolition means the destruction of an old building, and a lot of dust can be created when buildings are demolished. So, what can we do to protect ourselves from PM 2.5 and other forms of air pollution? Well, the first thing is to know what the air quality is in your local area on any given day. Most weather apps on your phone will tell you this nowadays. But the World Air Quality Index website provides a world map with figures for air pollution in real time. Just search for waqi.info and you'll find it. And if the level of pollution in your area is high, then there are a few sensible things you can do to minimize the health risks. In really high levels of pollution, probably the safest thing you can do is to stay indoors until things improve. Try to limit outdoor activities, especially for vulnerable groups like children, the elderly, and people with respiratory or heart conditions. Keep windows and doors closed and consider using an air purifier. Indoor air purifiers can make your air more pure or clean by filtering out particulate matter like PM2.5. If you do have to go outside, and let's be honest, we can't stay indoors forever, then consider wearing a mask. N95 masks can also filter out particles in air pollution. It'll certainly be interesting to see how much the issue of air pollution gets discussed at the COP29 conference this month. Let's hope the politicians can agree on some concrete measures to move the world towards cleaner energy production, which could have a huge impact on our air quality. After all, air pollution is something that affects all of us, no matter where we live. There are no national borders in the atmosphere. We're all breathing the same air together. And in the meantime, if you do find yourself having to deal with high levels of air pollution and PM2.5, do take care of yourself and take whatever precautions you need on those days when levels are particularly high.